Hi, my name is Val Pancakes, and with me here this evening on the stack is not America's sweetheart, Davienne. You can see her on IWTV tearing it up on Limitless's The Road series or on the premiere of Southern Underground Pro's Swing the Axe from the Collective, debuting on IWTV tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it was debuting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm really
That's
excited to
exciting because
see.
I've been wanting to watch my match from the collective. So, wow. Now I have something to do tomorrow.
Well, thank you for joining me. You're my first interview. I'm very excited. I did get to meet you at the collective, and you were super awesome. And
Oh,
no better person for my first interview than somebody that I've actually met, and it was super cool to me in real life. So
thank you so much.
I
I
super
appreciate
appreciate you
it.
joining me. Just to get into the questions, get rolling.
Yeah.
So, what was a young Davienne like?
Well, I was a little weirdo. I was so strange. I was the ultimate tomboy. I love dirt bikes and like mud and just like being outside and getting into trouble. I lived in the woods. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. So I was just like always outside getting into mischief with my little brother. We had dirt bikes, go-karts when we were kids. Um, we would always go in our backwoods that had um like old broken down cabins and stuff and like go hang out in there because there's really not much else to do. Yeah, it was like a super tomboy. I was really awkward and weird. Um, Total nerd. Like I loved like gargoyles and stuff. So, and then I like fell in love with wrestling, so it was even more weird.
So, excellent transition. Next question. What was your first exposure to wrestling? You said that you were kind of a tomboy and that you had brothers. So, was it?
Yeah, so my little brother was watching Sunday Night Heat one day, and it was Randy Orton versus Christian, and I fell in love with Randy Orton. I was like, I know this is like bad to say, but I was like, damn, he's hot, so I'm gonna watch this. um,
Fair.
um, so yeah, so I was just like, okay, so literally, I started watching because like I thought Randy Orton was cute. And then I continued to watch because I just got really invested in the product. And it was something for me and my brother to do together. We're super close, so yeah, we would watch um every show we could. SmackDown was like kind of our go-to because we'd stay up late and watch it. And then we would bargain. Like if we got a pay-per-view, we wouldn't stay up late and watch Raw the next night. So I was like, you can't stay up late 2 school nights in a row. Um, so yeah, we would like have to like bargain. And then when we got DVR, it was all over because it was just like we recorded everything. We recorded every pay-per-view, every Raw. My sister would want to like delete stuff. We're like, you can't delete it. But it's like we already watched it like 10 times. Like,
But there's still more day left. So,
yeah, right.
so you said that your first, like, you were the first fan of Randy Orton. What other wrestlers did you like from when you first started watching?
So my top three were Randy Orton, John Cena, and Batista. Um, and like as far as women goes, Trish Stratus, love Trish, Victoria, Lita, and Beth Phoenix. Those were like my girls. But yeah, Randy still to this day is my favorite wrestler. So
Does Randy know that he's your favorite wrestler?
I don't know. I say it all the time. I'm like, yeah, Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler. Randy Orton's the greatest of all time. Like, I watched the other day the top 70 moves of Randy Orton to just steal more stuff from him. Um, because why not? Like, he's the greatest. So yeah, he just inspires me so much.
So, what made you decide to pursue wrestling?
Um, so when I actually like fell in love with wrestling, I fell out of love with baseball. Um I realized like there isn't like a major league women's baseball team. And then I fell in love with wrestling and I was like, oh my God, like there are women in the WWE. I could do that. And I've never been like a conventional person. I never wanted to like go to college or anything like that. Um, I just always like envisioned more for my life. So wrestling has just always been like the thing that I always said I was going to do since I was 11 years old. Um, so my sister went to high school with Kenny Dykstra, and they did an article in the newspaper where I grew up, of like where he trained, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna train where Kenny trained. And so I like saved the newspaper clipping, and I saw that it was the Killer Kowalski School of Pro Wrestling. And then I just kind of followed it because I was like 14 at the time, and I lived an hour and a half away. My mom was like, I'm driving you an hour and a half away. You're 14 to go wrestle, like you crazy. Um, so I I graduated high school early. Like my guidance counselor used to fight with me. Like we used to do like mandatory meetings and stuff to like get ready for college. And I was like, no, I'm not going. And she's like, you have all straight A's. Like you don't even she's like, you don't even take hard classes. Like, can you please like maybe apply yourself? And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm really stubborn. I'm a really stubborn person. So I was just like, absolutely not. Like, no, I want to be a pro wrestler. And so I tried to graduate a year early, but they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me take summer classes to graduate a year early. So all I needed was 2 credits. I just needed 2 English courses, and then I was done. And they fought me. They made me go my senior year for like 5 months to just do my 2 English classes. And in January, I was like out the door. See you later. I was already working full time at a gym, and I saved up money. I bought a car with cash, and then 3 days after my 18th birthday, I had just been following the Killer Kowalski School. It became the Chaotic Training Center, and then the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. And I was like, "Here's all my money. Here's a year's worth of tuition. You know, like I'm gonna work for the WWE in like 3 months." And it didn't happen that way, but.
So speaking of training then, that's how you kind of decided where to train is you followed the Kenny Dykstra path?
Yeah, the Kenny Dykstra path. I was like, I mean, this has got to be the way to go. Like, he got signed. Triple H, trained at the Killer Kowalski School. And then so I kind of just, I had actually reached out to Thomas Santel, because one of his friends was a member at my gym, and they're like, oh my gosh, you like wrestling, you want to train, like his name was Antonio Thomas at the time. Antonio Thomas has a school, and it was only like 30-40 minutes from my house. I was like, wow, that's so much closer from the other one. But he never messaged me back. So
Ghosted you.
I know he just completely just like just no like just ignored me. And I was like, all right, whatever, then I'm gonna go to the other one. So I went to the other one, I signed up, and I was like, all right, I'm here. And this is what we're doing now.
I can't believe he no sold you.
Yeah, completely. And then when I finally like got to know him, I was like, I messaged you to like train me, and he was like, what? Felt real bad. And I was like, it's okay. Like, you just had some random person in your Facebook inbox. Like, I don't blame you.
So what was the first bump like, or what was the hardest part of training?
So the very beginning for me was like really challenging, just because I'm born at the end of June. I signed up right before the 4th of July. So there wasn't a lot of people around. Like, so I got a lot of focus, and I got to do like a lot my first few classes. After the first day, I was like, "Oh my god, that was horrible. Like, that was really hard. Like, oh my god." I remember so I don't like my hair up in just a ponytail. Uh, I'm I'm crazy. I like my hair up in a ponytail with like a clip. I feel like it looks better. It's stupid. but I took my first bump and I smashed the clip on the mat, and like
Oh.
the trainer picked it up and he was like, "Yeah, we don't wear these." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like I won't do that again." I like didn't have knee pads, like everything sucked. Um and so basically I was one-on-one in the beginner ring with this guy named Max Bauer, who's like so talented. He was in NXT for a little bit as Mickey Keegan back in like 2013 2014. He got signed with Sasha Banks, like that same class.
Okay.
But unfortunately he got injured and he can no longer wrestle, but he was like incredibly talented. So I spent my first day with him and he was like 6'8", like covered in hair, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is disgusting, but whatever. So he worked me hard. Like he taught me a lot my first day. There's like 4 ways to get out of the ring. He taught me all of those, and I kept hitting my hip like on the metal apron and just
Oh.
like smashing my hip. I was all bruised. And then so that was a Tuesday, and then there was training again Thursday. And I'll tell you, I was dreading it. I was like, I don't want to go back. I was like, I don't want to do it. But I'm so stubborn. I was like, I'm not gonna be the girl who quits after one class. Like that's gotten me through 8 years. It's like I'm not gonna be the girl who quits. um. So yeah, I went back the next day and we did like a lot of cardio drills, and I was dying. And like I was in even like better shape like when I first started wrestling too. Like I was really tiny. Um but just nothing prepares you for the like it's just like no other exercise ever. So I got home and I like sat in the cold bathtub and I was just like trying to eat cereal, and I could this is like the only thing I could stomach was I was just like so like overheated and like beat to crap, and I was just like trying to eat Special K in the ice bath, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever." But after like 3 months, like it got better.
Well, I'm glad you stuck it out.
Thank you.
So, do you have any upcoming shows? I know that with COVID, everything's kind of up in the air.
I know. Unfortunately, I don't have any upcoming shows in like front of a live crowd. Um, I because of COVID and new Massachusetts restrictions, I had the Stan Styles Intergender Bonanza coming up and the Synergy Women's Tournament, but I there's a travel restriction to New Jersey, so unfortunately I can't do either of those. I'm really bummed out about it. Like it's like so depressing. I'm like, oh my god, like maybe they'll just like change it like the week before and I'll be able to go. But like I'm still like holding my breath. But yeah, unfortunately, like with my job, I wouldn't be able to like quarantine, and I do need to go see my family for Christmas. Or it's been a year since I've seen them, and they will have my head if I do not go see them for Christmas. This has been an 8-year long battle of like sacrificing time with family for wrestling. And it was fine when we all lived together, but they moved to Arizona, and so I haven't seen my mom in a year, and she's been very ill for the past couple of years. So
Oh.
I if I don't go see her, I will be dead. So yeah, I have to do that for Christmas. So unfortunately, I can't go to New Jersey. But Limitless Wrestling the Road. I have a few more matches coming up during season 2. Believe I have three or four left. And then Chaotic Wrestling has now started um studio tapings as well, like the road, and they're gonna be live streamed on Twitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really exciting, really exciting things coming up with Chaotic. It's like Chaotic Reloaded. They have a whole new kind of thing. Still all the favorite wrestlers, same roster, but just like all new stories and like really cool stuff coming up there, that I am just super excited about to see it all play out. So fingers crossed we can get some people interested in Chaotic Reloaded. I don't know the date of when it's going to start airing, but I think it's early 2021.
Right on. I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled for that
Yes.
because that sounds awesome. So, do you have any, like, what are your future plans and dreams, or what keeps you motivated to keep going through wrestling
um
and through life?
so it's kind of crazy. I was like in quarantine, I was ready to just like hang it up. I was like, all right, like, you've accomplished a lot, but maybe this is kind of the sign that like wrestling just isn't gonna be it. And I was like, I pretended that like I was like okay with it. I was like, yeah, like it's fine. Like you've done a lot, you've given a lot to wrestling, and whatever, you could walk away happy and like live the rest of your life. But that's a joke. That's not real. um, it's not even close. So this is so dumb. I'm a little bit crazy, but I love like psychics and stuff. So my mom talked to a psychic for her birthday, and she called me and she just wanted to know like about her health and about her kids. And he said, he was like, your daughter Davienne has the aura of a celebrity. And he was like, she just has, this drive, and she does something physical like boxing or something. And he was like, and she's going to do really well in that as soon as she like stops caring about like what other people think about her, and like her physical appearance. He was like, when she stops stressing about it, like everything will fall into place. Like she's putting in the work, and she will reach her goals, like fitness wise and career wise. She just has to like start believing in herself, which is kind of like the words of wisdom that I needed. I was like, wow, like okay, like I mean, this person who has no idea who I am, he's in Arizona, is like reading my aura basically through just talking to my mom. And I was like, okay, cool, like I always felt like I kind of have the aura of a celebrity. Um, I mean, I just never envisioned my life as being like a 9 to 5er, like, and then retiring and then just like doing the normal thing. I have a lot of like, I'm kind of bougie, so I do want to make money. Because I like nice things. That's what I envision. I envision like buying like a nice house, and but like, and not just for myself, like I want to take care of my mom, I want to take care of my family, I want to make wrestling my full-time living because it's what I enjoy most. And then I would love to, like, I can't wrestle forever, I can't be an athlete forever, but doing like, now that I've been more involved in chaotic, maybe doing a more of a production role or a creative role. And then I also have like all these crazy ideas, maybe like being an entrepreneur, or like opening my own business or things like that. I have a lot of interests in other aspects, and I kind of want to change the world. I also want to take over the world, because I think I would be like a really great. I want to be an emperor just for the title, but yeah,
That's a really good title.
yeah, I'm like, I just feel like I have a lot of really good ideas, and people, I should just take over, and then the world would be a much better place. So yeah, we're just gonna start with wrestling, and then it will be like a full-blown world global domination. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll back the Davian movement. So,
Cool.
for sure, 10 times out of 10. So, outside of wrestling, what keeps you busy, or what other hobbies do you have? Anything super interesting or cool, or just
um
normal stuff?
so my real job keeps me pretty busy. I'm a litigation paralegal, specializing in medical malpractice. So I basically read medical records all day. And that's the gist of what I do. But that keeps me pretty busy. It's kind of it's boring, but sometimes it's interesting. I know a lot about like brain damage and stuff, and we do a lot of like birth injury cases, so I know a lot about babies and things like that. Sometimes they're really sad. But and in quarantine, my newest hobby has been home renovation. I have redone basically my entire condo that I purchased in January. So I can dabble in like plumbing, electrical. I've done a lot of painting, decorating. Oh my gosh, I have redecorated this place about like 3 times. It's horrible because I like something for a day and then I'm like, no, I don't like it anymore, and then I have to change it. And I just create more work for myself. Um, but I would love to be able to start like flipping houses, but also focus on more environmentally friendly building. My mom got sick from toxic mold exposure. So she's been battling that for like 5 years. And so when I was looking to buy a home, I had to have each place tested to make sure that there was no mold. And it's expensive. Like I'd have my inspection and then another like $500 to make sure there was no mold. And if there was, like there's no way. Like there's no way you can live there. So I think like building materials and stuff like that to have less water damage and just making the environment safer for people to be healthier. I really like that. And then like just I get really into more holistic and like natural medicine just for everything that my mom went through. It's made me more educated, and just having to like my own experiences from mold exposure. I've gotten really into different forms of medicine, to make me feel like the best person that I can be. um so yeah, those are like my hobbies. I do like a lot of like research and that stuff. And I also really enjoy like exercise. I like to be outside. Yoga I've really gotten into in quarantine. I sound like bubble wrap being cracked every single time I do it. 8 years of wrestling. It's just kind of like, oh God, what are you doing to yourself? But I feel like a million times better. I know 2020 has kind of been a rough one, but I have actually like kind of enjoyed it. I work from home now. I get to renovate my whole home and I've kind of like gotten to just like take my priorities and be like, what's important to me in life? What's going to make me happy? So yeah, I just try to find hobbies that make me happy.
Well, that sounds awesome. If you had your show on HGTV where you renovated homes, what would you call it?
Oh, oh my gosh. I want to just be like the new Joanna Gaines, but I don't want to call it Fixer Upper. I think it would have to be like, I couldn't curse in it either. I curse a lot. It
I
would
do
be
too. I
like
feel you.
turn it sideways or something. Like I'm gonna have to think of a name for my show. I'm really bad at like naming things. Like I don't like name any of my wrestling moves or whatever. I have all these outrageous ideas, but I can never come up with a name for it. Like I'm really bad at like the subject line of an email. I'm like, I can't just put it all into one sentence, you know? Like I just ramble.
Well, we can circle back. We can circle
Yeah,
back.
we'll circle back.
So, I know that you're a independent pro wrestler. I'm sure you have some fantastic travel stories.
Yeah.
So, if you can share whatever you can
Oh,
share,
yeah.
and you can save names if you need to protect innocent
Oh, no,
parties.
all my friends should be thrown under the bus.
Oh, we're doing a shoot interview tonight. So, just any travel stories, anything that's funny or exciting, most memorable, anything that you can and are willing to
Yeah,
share. Those are the best.
I have to say, like from most recent, the collective, it was oh my God. So the team Sea Stars and Layla Hirsch collectively were the legit Sea Dogs. That's our group name. They're probably my three best friends in wrestling besides Ava Everett, who's also an angel, but she had to go and move to Florida. And I miss her dearly. But so we were going to the collective, and so we were all supposed to drive down together on the Saturday. And then I had to go and mess things up and work for Sub. And so me and Layla ended up driving by ourselves Thursday night. So because I'm the mom of the group, but they also call me Murphy's Law because everything always goes wrong in my life, like literally everything. Um no matter how perfect I try to plan things, there's always a hiccup because it's just me. And we're I booked the Airbnb, I booked a rental car. I'm like, cool, I have my house clean. I have I have the food packed for the trip. I meal prepped. I had all my laundry done. Out the door at 5 o'clock to get my rental car at 5:30 to then drive to New Jersey to pick up Layla and then head to Indiana. Well, you go to the rental car place. I pull up. I literally see the car that I rented in the parking lot, but it was like quiet, and I was like, oh, like maybe this is just a really small enterprise. Like I don't know, never been here before. And I go up to the door and it's locked, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? And there's a little sign on the door, and it's like this location is closed due to COVID. Please go to our other location. It's 20 minutes away. And I was like, I have a confirmation. Like I literally have a confirmation. Like, are you kidding me? So I call Enterprise and I'm like, look, I'm going to the Milford location. Do you have a car from these days? And the girl's like, yeah, we have a car. We close at 6 though. Can you be here by 6? And I was like, my GPS says 6:03. And she goes, okay, call this number back and hit option 4. Because I am not in the actual location. The option 4 will get you to a representative who is physically in the store. Okay, call back. They leave me on hold for 15 minutes and hit 6 o'clock. They disconnect me. And then I call back and they're like, please call back during normal business hours. So I was like, so I literally had already driven, like I was almost there. So I pulled into a gas station. I go on my phone and I'm like, there's got to be a rental car. If I'm driving to New Jersey, I'm probably going to go through Worcester, where I grew up. I'm like, there has to be a car at Worcester Airport. There's no rental cars at Worcester Airport. So then I was like, well, now I got to go to PVD and I have to go to Providence Airport. So you go to Providence Airport, they have a car, I book it. Then I've already, now it's 6 o'clock now. So now I have to drive 40 minutes to Providence Airport to go get this rental car. And then so I go and I can't find like the entrance to the parking garage. It was like level 4 for Enterprise. And then so I go up there and there's like no place for you to park like your car. There was like all these spikes. And I was like, whoa, I'm not going near these because I'm going to blow a tire because I know this is my life. So then I go into the next garage and it took me like 15 minutes to find like the other garage where I guess you could park if you're commuting on the train. And then I had to walk back to the rental car garage and I go up and I've rented a car from PVD before, but it was before COVID. So I go into the airport and I see all the rental car desks and nobody's sitting there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm going to lose it. And so I call the customer service number and I wasn't like full Karen, but I was nasty. And I was like, I am at the desk and there's nobody here. And they're like, okay, I'm really sorry. Let me just patch you through to somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so they patch me through to somebody else. And as soon as the guy picks up the phone, I see this little like handwritten sign. And it's like, all Enterprise customers, please go to this level of the garage to get your car instead of like actually in the thing. And I was like, sir, I am so sorry. Uh, I am looking at this little handwritten sign. He's like, you know what? I'm going to stay on the phone with you until you get up there and there's a person there to help you. And I was like, thank you so much. It has been a day. Um, so I get up there. The guy is super nice. I'm like, look, I need a car to get me to Indiana, good on gas, 4 people. He's like, I got you. Here's a Nissan Altima, whatever. Cool. Thank you so much, sir. So I'm like 2.5 hours behind of when I wanted to get to Layla. So I did not get to her until midnight. Midnight. So then I had to drive overnight to Indiana. And then so we went to McDonald's because, you know, why
Nothing else.
not? Why not? And she's like, I'm starving. She wanted Burger King. I had promised her Burger King, and the Burger King had closed because I got there so late. And she's like, there's a McDonald's over here, so we go to McDonald's. And like, I wanted buttermilk crispy chicken with just mayo. And then so she orders a crispy chicken. I still to this day do not know if they're the same sandwich or not. I think they are. They're not. They're
I
different.
don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. The guy at McDonald's didn't know either. and
I order chicken nuggets every time.
and that's usually my other one too. But I was just like, oh yeah, I'll get the crispy chicken sandwich, whatever. And so I'm like, it says on the menu it's buttermilk crispy chicken. And Layla was like, well, I just want crispy chicken. I was like, I don't think there's a difference, but whatever. And she's like that thick Russian/New Jersey accent. And then the guy in the McDonald's has like a Spanish accent. So they're yelling back and forth at each other. And she's like, no, I just want a crispy chicken sandwich. And he's like, okay, I got you. She looks at me and she's like, am I speaking English? Like, am I wrong? And I was like, no, like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm with you all the time. So I don't know. So we go up, we pay, and then they're like, please pull over to the side, whatever. We'll walk your food out to you. Great. Thank you. They walk, and they're holding like a regular McDonald's bag and then like a bag, like a plastic bag. And I'm like, why do I have a plastic bag? Like, this is weird. And I like pull out what looks like when they have the hot cakes like kind of box, and I was like, oh my god. They literally put just a slab of chicken in a container. And I was like, oh my god. So she goes, no, I'm going back. We go through, and she's like, I wanted a sandwich, not just a slab of chicken. And so now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning when we finally like start going to Indiana. Like, it was a nightmare to try and get there. And so finally we're close. We are in Indiana. And Layla's like, I'm really hungry. Can we please stop? Get breakfast? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was like, do you mind if we just go somewhere close to the Airbnb and right off the exit? Because I wanted to be able to like take a quick nap, shower, put my makeup on, whatever, before going to sup. And we see an exit for a Cracker Barrel. I'm like, oh, it's right off the exit. It was like 2 exits away from our Airbnb. And we pull off the exit, and then we had to like bang a Yui. And I take the U-turn, and then there was a gas station entrance on my right, and then another entrance that was closer to the Cracker Barrel a little ways up. And I'm like, oh, it must be this one over here, and then it will go around. So I take the right, and then I'm like, well, there is no entrance to the Cracker Barrel. Like, I got back on the highway, and I had to drive 30 minutes in the opposite direction to get to the first exit to then turn back around. So I added an hour onto my trip for this freaking Cracker Barrel. And so we went to the Cracker Barrel. We went. I'm not going through all for an extra hour of the drive for nothing. We're going to Cracker Barrel.
At that point, you're committed.
Yeah. I'm like, we get there. Oh my god. I don't know, like, if we just looked psychotic from driving all night. But everybody in the Cracker Barrel is staring at us. I'm like, are we being like loud? Like, I don't know. Like, do we smell really bad? I'm like, I mean, we probably have some kind of funk to us from being in the car for this long. But we go, and then like the waitress is like, are you guys wrestlers? I was like, why are you asking us that? Like, I don't know if it's like we have fanny packs on. I think I had my shimmer jacket. Layla had like her Beyond Wrestling hoodie. So maybe that, I don't know. But everybody was looking at us like we had 3 heads. And so we finally get to the Airbnb, and I had enough time to shower and change, and then I went to sup. There was no sleep. That was it. I just went right there. So that was one of the horror stories. I also drove to Texas with the Sea Stars and Layla. And Delmi's boyfriend Rip Bison. We spent 30 hours in the car. That's where I really became friends with Layla. And Layla can do this trick where she'd throw like anything in the air and catch it in her mouth. And so I went to high five her and I slapped her in the face. Yeah. And then we drank a little too much. And she like sat in the elevator and like couldn't get up. So I throw her onto my back, like firemen's carry her to walk her to the hotel room. And she like kicks one side of the hotel wall and like makes me tilt to like crash her into the other side of the wall. And we both fall. And I just go, shh, you're fine, get up. And she gets up and then she goes, lucha dive, and like dives in the hotel hallway. I'm like, oh my God, get in the room, get in the room. Um, yeah, we really shouldn't be allowed together, the four of us, to function in society because it's usually a bad time. But I mean, a great time, but yeah, a bad time. But yeah.
Layla just lucha diving in the hallway.
She's an icon. I love her.
So moving on to favorites, couple just kind of quick fire. What
Yeah,
kind of music do you like?
I like country music.
Like like now time country or like old timey country?
Like now time country. I've seen Luke Bryan in concert like 8 times. My all time favorite though is Chase Rice. He's kind of like he's like a mixed breed of country. But his lyrics are like very beautiful and very interesting. Sam Hunt I'm a big fan of. But I also loved like Taylor Swift. I like pop. I like pop punk. I kind of like everything. I like rap. Like if I'm trying to stay awake at night, it would be like hardcore Eminem, and I just like rap along to it. But if I even like work out to country. Like yeah, I would love to like live in the South and like have a farm. And a cowboy. That would be great.
You know, I not what I expected.
It's usually a shocker.
But everyone has their thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's fair. I'm not going to shame anybody. I listen to all kinds of weird stuff. So, what's your favorite city to wrestle in?
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. You know, it's like so weird. I think like Boston is probably my favorite city to wrestle in. We did a show at Faneuil Hall, which was just like so cool. Um, but also like I'm trying to remember in Canada, we did Quebec City and that was a really cool city. Um I hate New York. I know I hate New York. Just because I hate going there. Wrestling there is cool. Because I had my first ever match in New York City, so it like has a place in my heart. But I despise New York City. I'm also not a city girl. I like country.
So
The
if you could
city
just
stressed me out.
so if you could just teleport there, that would really be
Yeah, that'd
ideal.
be awesome. Also, like Providence is a really great city. I'm thinking of like when you go to a wrestling show and then like you wrestle and then you can like go do something fun after. That's my idea of like a good city to wrestle in. Because honestly, like being able to be with fans, like like now, it's like oh my god, like you know, like you don't get to be around fans, so being able to be in any arena with fans who are excited to be there and like want to see you perform is awesome. So like the location doesn't really matter, I guess.
It's more about the crowd and the atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. But if like I can wrestle somewhere and then like find someplace cool to eat that's not like a 99, Like, not anything against 99. It's a great place, but if you can find something a little bit interesting to do after the show, that's what I'm looking for.
Fair. So, who's been your favorite opponent, and then who's been your favorite tag partner? Because I know that you've done a variety of different kind of matchups for tag.
Yes. So opponent and tag partner are tied. They're the same person. It's Ava Everett. She is just another level of human. Like, I just she progressed so fast. Like, it's just insane to me, and she is literally like the reason I still wrestle. Because I had no, and I wouldn't and say I didn't have anybody. Melissa Edwards and Mistress Belmont helped me out a lot when I was like a little young up and comer, but I didn't have any like consistent travel partner ever. Like, besides the boys, and like it's just sometimes you just like you want your girls, especially when that's who you're going to be wrestling. Um, so she has just been a game changer for me. Somebody to be like my closest confidant and like try new things with her. We're up for anything. Like, we just do things because our friendship has grown so much and we've wrestled so many times. We just do things to like entertain each other, which makes the matches so fun. And then when we were like, we're sick of wrestling each other, we just want to be tag partners, like, it was just easy because we just work so well together. Our chemistry is there. And we're just ridiculous. We're just absolutely out of control, like Tasmanian devils. And we just do it to entertain each other. Like, it's just we want to be comedy because we like to be funny. But also I will give him his credit. JT Dunn has also been a very great tag team partner. I've learned a lot from him. He's kind of like given me confidence to be like, okay, yeah, like I can wrestle like a 20-minute banger and have a great match and like feel that confidence. Because I mean, in chaotic wrestling, it was my home for when I first started, and I never got like that reaction from the crowd like ever. Until I came back and I started doing I had been out of the company for like a year and a half, and I started doing intergender matches, and then like the crowd got so behind me, and then me and JT started teaming, and it was just like organic chemistry, and we did these fun promos, and people just got really really behind the two of us so fast. And to have the moment where I became like the first woman to ever hold like a male title in my home promotion in front of fans, like right before COVID happened, was so cool. Like, because grant like they weren't chanting like for our team, like everybody loves GT, but at the end they were chanting for me because it was like a historic moment, and it was just like, wow, like this is wild, like this is really cool. And it gave me a new appreciation for tag team wrestling. Like, it's so intricate and so different. Like, it's just a whole nother art form, and he has such a brain for it. So it's been like he's been a great tag partner.
That's awesome. What would be like a dream match for you?
Oh my god, dream match would definitely be wrestling Trish Stratus. That would be like the ultimate dream. Also wrestling Randy Orton. Also, one outrageous one, myself and Ava Everett versus Kane and The Undertaker.
The Ava Taker and the Undertaker. I
The
can
Ava Taker
see.
and The Undertaker. We had booked this like dream angle before August Gray had to go and get signed. When he was still running 01 Northeast, we were going to have me and Ava feud because, you know, what else do we do? Before we were like, we're not feuding anymore. We're gonna be tag partners. Um, and I was gonna like beat up somebody really bad, some nasty person, and she was gonna come out and make the save and like bust me open. And I was gonna be like, no, bitch, like, you don't make me bleed my own blood, and we're gonna have a first blood match. So I was gonna win the first blood match, and then Ava Taker was gonna rise and be like, you want to make me bleed? I'm gonna put you in a casket, and then have a casket match. And then there was no logistics to this at all. It probably definitely couldn't have happened, but I was like, we need to light the casket on fire. And then I can come back as Cain. And
Baby
she was like,
Kane.
yeah, yeah. And she was like, yes. And Anthony was like, no. He's like, how are
Wow.
we setting you on fire? I'm like, we'll figure it out. It's fine. Like, just do it. He's like, no, I'm not losing my building. But yeah, so that's like a dream booking that just like never got to play out, but maybe one day.
Retro AG, more like buzzkill AG.
Yeah, right? He stinks.
So what is something that you would tell like your 10-year-old self?
Like, oh my God, you're actually gonna wrestle. Like, this is psychotic. Like, wow. This is wild. You are going to go on the ultimate roller coaster. Like every time I tell like my normal life friends of like what my life is, they're like, what? Like, your life isn't real. I'm like, oh, this is what I live every day. Or like people that I went to high school with who have now been like messaging me because of PWI and like, oh my God, you're like number 81 in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I'm famous. Like,
Yeah.
and like,
Bye.
yeah, remember when I thought I was weird because I like professional wrestling? Well, now you're DMing me. Um, yeah, I'm not petty at all. Absolutely not. Yeah, my 10-year-old self would be like, yeah, being really petty right now.
So a couple fun questions.
Yeah.
So I'm Val Pancakes. So how do you take your pancakes? Like, what's the ultimate pancake for you? Or are you not a pancake person?
Oh, I love all breakfast food. I've had to eliminate a lot of it because I have a dairy allergy, so it sucks. So I'm looking, and so I went keto for a while, and I was doing like cream cheese pancakes, which are really good. But now I have to switch to like a vegan cream cheese, and it's gross. So I'm trying to figure out new ways I can have dairy-free pancakes. If anybody can hit me up with recipes, that'd be great. But if dairy allergy eliminated, I love like all different kinds of pancakes. Like, I'll go to IHOP and get like the cinnamon roll or like the dulce de leche. But just like a regular Sunday morning, just chocolate chip, plain, no butter, no syrup. Like, that's it. Couple of those bad boys, and good to go.
I can get behind that. I like to throw some peanut butter on my chocolate chip pancakes.
Oh, so good. Or like a plain protein pancake with peanut butter on it is like such a game changer. I put peanut butter on everything. Peanut butter
Same.
on rice cakes. So good. Makes it so much better. That's what I ate for dinner the other night.
I had apples with peanut butter, so I feel you.
There you go. Yeah, like my appetite has just been weird this week. And I was just like, I made all this chicken and kale, and I was like, ugh, don't want this. So I had like 2 rice cakes with peanut butter, and I felt great. And I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. Like,
Like, this is clearly the way to go.
yeah, it's the best way.
So I did think of a potential name for your Fixer Upper show
Yes.
because you said that you suffer from a Murphy's Law problem. So what about Davienne's Law?
Yeah, I like
Where
it.
it's just fixing stuff that's gone wrong for other people.
That's actually perfect. And I actually really like anything to do with me having a law because I like power.
You're a very powerful person.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that
I
that
said
would
I
be
wanted to
perfect
take
for
over the
you.
world, so yeah, I'm not exactly power hungry.
And then this is the last question I have of the night. It's very important. Don't think too hard about it.
Okay.
So Oreos, double stuff or single stuff?
Double stuff. You have to.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would pick anything other
Like,
than.
why would you not want more filling? Like, do you just hate your life? Like, okay.
Like, if I'm gonna eat an Oreo, I might as well like go for
Yeah, if
broke.
you're gonna eat an Oreo, like go like this filling's the best part. Like, yeah, the cookie's fine, but whatever. But like, no, don't do that to yourself.
Well, that is all I have for this evening. Is there anything that you want to promote, mention? Now's
Um,
your time.
yeah, I mean, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Davienne __. I think they plugged it, but just double check. And then I have Big Cartel store, it's like shop Davienne does something. I'm sorry, I suck. But pro wrestling tees I have also with some exclusive designs on there. Um, catch Limitless Wrestling, The Road. It's awesome. Even if I'm not on it, watch an episode. There's not only streaming on IWTV now, they're streaming on YouTube. So you can just watch it on YouTube. You don't need an IWTV subscription. And then when Chaotic Wrestling Reloaded starts to debut, I have a very pretty much heavy hand in that, and I'm really excited about it. I love it. I think what Chaotic has been doing is super fun. It's really different, and people should get excited about seeing what we're gonna do. So yeah, I think that's everything. And then I guess when I come out with Davian's Law on HGTV, you can give me your house to fix.
If I ever have a house, you'll be the first person I pick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm bougie, so with my decorating, but I am bougie on a budget is what's important. Like, I like to look nice, but also not be expensive.
Well, I pay more if you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, my name has been Val Pancakes. This has been The Stack with Not America's Sweetheart, Davienne. Again, you can catch her on IWTV on Limitless with their The Road series. It is Wednesdays at 7 Eastern Time. And of course, tomorrow, Southern Underground Pro Swing the Axe from The Collective. And that is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. You can also catch our interviews on WrestleJoy.com. Watch any of our other interviews or our roundtable podcasts at YouTube. Just search for The Bald Monkeys. And listen to the Bald Monkeys podcast on Apple iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.